In this video, I want to share with you a few different CorelDRAW tips that will help you when you're doing your design work here in CorelDRAW. Now, this design is one of the designs that we're going to be posting for our Design of the Day. And so if you're a Design of the Day member, you'll be able to download this design. We're going to give you the whole rhinestone version, and then we're going to give you the rhinestone heat press version. And if you're not already kind of mixing and matching of the materials, you definitely want to do that. Try it out, because I think you'll find that your customers will be really excited about it. It just gives you something a little bit different than just a basic rhinestone t-shirt. So if you're not already experimenting, we definitely encourage you to experiment. And what I want to show you here is how we can kind of take this design that we give you, change it up just a little bit with some basic CorelDRAW skills, and kind of make something a little bit different. So in this design, you've got your baseball design, obviously, and then we have our mom is all one color, one type of material. So it's a little bit easier to create the shirt because we're just going to put down one color of heat press material and heat press it. Now you could cut this mom out of glitter material. You could cut this out of regular heat press material. It might be fun to cut this mom out of reflective. They make a material that's reflective. So, you know, at night the lights shine against it and it would, you know, sparkle. So all kinds of interesting things you can do with heat press material. But what we want to do is we want to show you how to take this one color design that we created for you and make it to a two color design with just a basic modification. So let me explain. Right here we have the inside is kind of hollowed out. So what you're seeing is you're seeing the shirt color through. And so what we want to do is we want to convert it into a two color design. So the way we do that is simply select what we have, right click, and break curve apart. Now, it doesn't look like much right now, and even that little modification, we may prefer a thicker letter M. But if you go to wireframe mode, you can see that we actually have two pieces. And so what we want to do is, let's go back over to enhance mode. If I click right here in the middle of the M, and I give it a color, you can see it colored the whole M like we would expect. But when we go to wireframe mode, there's two pieces there. So when we're in enhance mode, how do we get that other piece? Well, here's the trick for that. When you know that there's something there that you can't get, if you hold down the Alt key and click right in the middle of the M like we did before, what that kind of tells CorelDRAW, ignore what's ever on top, pick what's underneath the bottom. So now, if you look closely, you can see these nodes. The inside of that M is selected. But here's the interesting thing. So I'm going to hold down my Alt key and click. It selects the inside of my M. If I hold down the Alt key again and click again, it releases the inside of the M, and now it picks up what's behind that. And when what's behind that, of course, is my weed box. So very useful to know how to select things that are hidden behind other things. All right, so again, we'll just Alt click in the middle of our M. That picks up the inside of our M, and then we need to bring that to the top. Now, there are a few keyboard shortcuts that you really should remember, and one of them is Shift Page Up. And all that does is it takes the inside of our M and brings it to the top. Okay, so now there's the inside of our M. So let's go, I'm going to give that a different color. Let's make this back to white again. Okay, so you can see little change, and it's already, to me, it's already looking cooler, right? So same thing down here. We're just going to select our M. We're going to right click. We're going to break it apart. We're going to hold down the Alt key, click in the middle, Shift Page Up, and right there. Okay, so now you can see what we have is we're going to cut our two M's and our base, and then we're going to lay our pink pieces right on top of the M's, and we have our two color design. Pretty nifty stuff, right? So little change, and you can do something a little bit different with your design. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is how to do a glitter mock-up. It's really easy. All we're going to do is we're going to select both of our pink M's. We can select them both together at once. Come over here to our paint bucket tool, click on our pattern fill tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to use one of Tim's glitters, which I have on my desktop here. under Tim Glitter here. We're going to use the blue glitter for this example. And for the width, because of the way Tim made the glitters, he made them nice and big, we're going to use 10 by 6. And when we go ahead and click OK, you can see now our letter M's have the nice pretty glitter fill, right? And then just to kind of spruce things up a little bit, let's go over to the Miscellaneous tab and right click on Add Bling. If you have Easy Stone, we can add a little sparkle if you want. We'll hit Escape. That gets you out of sparkle mode. And just a little touch me up. I think that looks pretty nice. So that is how you do glitter fills, really easy. The other point I wanted to make, just so you have some CorelDRAW knowledge, is if you already have something, I'll tell you what, let's change this fill to go back to pink. All right, so if you already have something that has a pattern fill like this, what we can do is we can right click and drag over a new object and choose copy fill here, and whatever fill properties you had on the one object, it'll copy to the other one. Okay, so that's important to know too, just that you have that option. So just like here, we could right click and drag over our base, copy fill here, and now you can see our bases would be cut out of glitter as well. All right, so actually I think I like that, just like that. So that's how we do that. Now the next thing we should talk about is something a little bit different, and because some people had some questions about how to do the watermark on the images. Now I have to cheat a little bit because I actually have a macro for it because there's kind of several steps involved. But at any rate, what you do is you just select your weed box here, and there's all kinds of different options that I put in it. And when I click Add Watermark, it just adds the watermark. So you can see that's how the watermark is in there. And I'll go ahead and delete that watermark and get us back to that. Now, so how would you go about creating your own watermark? Well, the way you would do it is, let's just go ahead and type out, I'm just going to go ahead and type out my web address. And you only have to create this image once. All right, so we're going to, all I did was make a copy and move it down, and then when I hit Control D, it just makes a bunch more copies. And I would, as a good rule of thumb, make a bunch. How many? I don't know, but make a bunch. And I would say that the whole thing overall height should be about 20 inches. So I overdid it a little bit, but that's okay. And then what I would do is come over and make a copy and do the same thing. Yeah, all I'm doing, I made one copy, and then all I did was hit Control D, Control D, Control D, all the way across. Okay, so now you have something that kind of looks like this. And then what we're going to do is select the whole thing, and we're going to let's see, we'll make it a light gray so we can actually see it. That's the first thing. And so now it's a light gray, and then we're going to go to bitmaps, and we're going to convert to bitmap. And just accept the defaults. The one thing in that bitmap preview that we want to for sure do is make sure that we use the transparent background. That's the one option we want to make sure that is selected there. So because this is such a large image, it does take a minute to actually create this. And then what I would do is rotate this. Let's see here. Let's rotate it 30 degrees. Okay. Now, so what I would do if you don't have Easy Stone is save this image just like it is to a separate document. All right, and then what you could do is, all you have to do then is to simply take this image. I tell you what, one last thing we should do with this image is add some transparency. So we're going to come up here to our wine glass, and we're going to come over here and choose uniform. So I had my bitmap selected. I went to my wine glass, choose uniform, and for a transparency, let's try 85. Okay? And you could just barely see it. But that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and right click and drag over our weed box and power clip inside. And then when we do that, Do you see? There's our watermark. Okay, and if I want to adjust that watermark because maybe it's a little bit light, just right click on it and choose Edit Power Clip. So we're right clicking on our weed box and we'll choose Edit Power Clip. And then you can see there is all of our web addresses. And what I might want to do is not go so much. Let's do 70. See what that looks like. And yep, if you're happy with that, see this little rectangle box? That's your weed box. So we're going to right click anywhere inside there and choose Finish Editing This Level. And now you can see we have a nice watermark. It's not too obtrusive to the design itself. And that's how you would do it if you're doing it manually. Okay, but again, once we have this watermark image created, when we want to add it, we just drag and drop the CorelDRAW file into the CorelDRAW file we're working on, and then right click and drag, power clip inside, and you're good to go. At some point, for those of you who do have EasyStone, at some point this watermark function will be built into EasyStone, but we just hadn't gotten there yet. So I have all kinds of toys that you guys don't yet. So at any rate, I just wanted to kind of show you how that works with the glitter, with making those small changes to existing designs go from a 1-color to a 2-color. And some of you asked about how to do the watermark option, and so now you know how to do that as well. Thanks for watching.